Every day she'd wake up and realize someone had called today to tell her mother had passed away. And her mother died every day for like 3 years. I wish I could take her out and go out to eat and do things like that. But you can't really. We'll get some help. We'll take her out the car and we'll drive around and look at stuff.
Jay Leno just dropped a decision that had the whole entertainment world freezing in shock. No more shows, no more late-night laughs, no more casual pop-ins that kept fans smiling for decades. All of it shut down with one single announcement that hit harder than anyone expected. What could make a man who lived on stage for nearly 50 years suddenly step away like that? What could push someone so respected, so steady, so legendary to slow everything down right when he still had major influence? This story breaks it all down, layer by layer, where career, incident, and quiet truth collide in a way nobody saw coming. In 2024, Jay Leno officially filed for conservatorship and full medical care for his wife, Mavis Leno, after doctors confirmed she was living with moderate to severe dementia. The court approved the request instantly, noting that Jay was fully capable of handling her health, her finances, and every life decision she needed support with. In a recent interview, he said straight up, "I enjoy taking care of her. It's not a burden." He explained that Mavis still recognizes him, still smiles, and still reacts to moments the same way she always has, even though her memory loss makes daily life tough. He also shared how painful it is watching her relive the loss of her mother again and again, each time believing it just happened. That heartbreak alone reshaped his entire life overnight. For decades, Jay was a non-stop worker, constantly moving, constantly creating, constantly showing up. But Mavis's condition pushed him into a new role, full-time caregiver. His step back from TV work, shows, theater gigs, and public appearances wasn't random at all. It was tied directly to her health getting more complicated, and he wasn't about to let someone else step in to handle what he felt was his responsibility. In footage recorded for an upcoming personal documentary, Jay said, "I used to think I couldn't slow down, but now nothing is more important than being with her every day." And he meant it with his whole heart. Mavis Elizabeth Nicholson Leno has been the only woman Jay ever married. Since 1980, more than 40 years by his side, but always behind the scenes. She didn't chase the spotlight, didn't hit red carpets, didn't give interviews, and didn't stand next to him during award nights. But everybody who worked with Jay knew one thing. Every major decision he made was talked through with her first. Mavis was the one who pushed him toward comedy instead of a safe administrative job. She was the one who told him to pause his entire lineup of shows after he faced serious accidents in 2022 and 2023. And when he started recovering, she took charge, meeting with doctors, adjusting his schedule, and setting boundaries on what work he could take on. In the Last Ride documentary, she appeared on camera for the first time, helping tell the story of how Jay learned to shift from a life of constant motion to a more grounded, family-focused rhythm. Recordings from that period show them talking about their daily routines, how time feels different now, and how silence became more meaningful. But after her dementia diagnosis, everything shifted. Jay went from relying on her support to becoming the one who handled everything. He refused to put her in a nursing home or hire a big care team. He handled her medication, therapy, and living environment himself. When someone asked why he didn't get outside help, he simply said, "Because I'm here." Mavis stopped appearing on set after early 2024, and her absence matched Jay's own slow pullback from work. His retreat wasn't burnout. This was family. This was loyalty. This was a man shifting priorities after decades of being in the spotlight. It forced him to look back on everything he built, because what he's living now is directly tied to the foundation he laid from the moment he became a household name. Jay Leno stepped into The Tonight Show in 1992, taking a seat once seen as impossible to follow after Johnny Carson. For 20 years straight, he held the #1 spot in late-night TV while going head-to-head with giants like David Letterman and Conan O'Brien. Producers knew him as the guy who wrote most of his own opening jokes, controlled his content, and never needed a big team of comedy writers behind him. NBC called him the host who never needed a break. Always on time, always ready, always locked in. He left the show in 2009, came back in 2010, then officially stepped down in 2014 without dragging it out. No dramatic farewells, no special campaigns. He just kept it clean, simple, and professional, exactly how he handled everything for 2 decades. "I just wanted to prove I belong," he once said about sitting in Carson's old chair. Around that time, he launched Jay Leno's Garage, turning his obsession with classic cars and engines into a full-blown TV show and YouTube empire. While some people thought leaving NBC meant he was done, he wasn't even close. He filmed during the day, hit comedy gigs at night, and spent the rest of his time in his shop working on engines. He never disappeared from the spotlight, not once, until life forced him to. Jay's whole brand wasn't built on scandals or wild statements. It was consistency. He didn't chase trends, didn't jump into online drama, didn't switch up his style to stay relevant. He became the safe, steady choice, especially for older audiences who saw watching him as part of their nightly routine. Everything seemed unshakable, until the signs started showing. In late 2022, Jay suffered a major accident in his personal garage. A sudden flash fire left him with severe burns on his face, neck, and chest. Doctors said it would take serious treatment and patience, and right as he started healing, another accident hit. This time a motorcycle crash that left him with broken bones and nerve damage. 2 big incidents in a row shocked everyone close to him. Doctors told him to slow down, stop traveling long distances, reduce public appearances, and let his body recover. Tests showed his balance and mobility were changing, and recovery needed careful monitoring. During all this, Jay stayed quiet publicly. The updates came mostly from his medical team and people working with him. They said he stayed optimistic, but his body made it clear. His life had to shift into a slower lane. The accident in Jay Leno's private garage back in late 2022 flipped his whole world upside down. A sudden flash fire tore through the space, leaving Jay with serious burns across his face, neck, and chest. Injuries that demanded non-stop medical care and a long stretch of recovery he never planned for. Even though he kept a calm look in public, doctors made it clear his healing wouldn't be quick or easy. And for the first time in years, he had no choice but to step back from his non-stop grind. And just when his wounds were barely starting to close, life hit him again, hard. Only a few weeks later, Jay was riding his motorcycle when he got into a brutal crash that shattered multiple bones and caused nerve damage. This wasn't just bad luck. People close to him said it showed a real shift in his physical condition, something he had never dealt with before. Doctors immediately told him to slow everything down. No events, no long filming sessions, no motorcycle trips, nothing that could put extra strain on his body. Later tests showed changes in his balance and limits in his mobility, and specialists had to watch his recovery step by step because the after effects of both accidents were still lingering. During this time, Jay kept things quiet. He didn't run to the press or try to explain every detail. Most of what reached the public came from his medical team and the people working closely with him. They described him as hopeful and positive, but they also admitted his health was pushing him into a slower lifestyle that he couldn't avoid anymore. Big injuries take big time to heal, and sudden movements weren't good for him anymore. And with those physical changes came a new reality. He had to reconsider all his long-term plans. Projects that demanded long filming days or required motorcycle travel were shut down indefinitely. In one private conversation, later confirmed, Jay admitted the recovery process made him think seriously about when he should step into a new chapter of his life. He spent most of his days at home and in his garage doing rehab exercises, following every direction his medical team gave him. And during those quiet hours, something shifted inside him. For a man who lived his whole life moving fast, he began to understand the meaning of slowing down and protecting his energy instead of burning it every day. In a recent interview, he said, "Stillness doesn't mean weakness, it means peace." That line showed exactly how his mindset changed during recovery. Doctors later confirmed the long treatment had affected his physical ability over time. Rehab was helping, but he still had limitations, especially with activities that required strength or quick movement. That's why Jay decided to seriously consider stepping away from his regular performance schedule. People in the industry said he quietly stopped accepting new contracts halfway through the year so he could dedicate himself to his health. And from that point on, Jay showed up less often. No big technical events, no car showcases, none of the usual things he always loved doing. It became obvious to everyone watching. His health wasn't where it used to be during his peak years. The last 2 years became a major turning point in Jay Leno's life. For the first time, he had to put his health at the very top. As he slowed down and stopped taking new stage bookings, he slipped into a phase where he reevaluated everything: his work, his lifestyle, and the values he had built over decades. Stepping away from shows he knew so well gave him space to look back at how much he had accomplished, especially his legendary run in late-night TV, a legacy that made him a massive name across the country. The comedy legacy. Jay Leno held the #1 late-night TV spot for years, a rare achievement in an industry where popularity flips fast. That consistency came from both his loyal audience and the way he ran his show. Most nights, Jay wrote his own monologue jokes, shaped the topics, and handled the tone of the show himself. No giant writing squad behind him. The industry saw him as someone who could control the whole program from top to bottom, and that made him stand out. Unlike many comedians of his time, Jay didn't chase controversy or use social media to stay relevant. His brand stayed steady for more than 20 years. While others leaned into political or edgy styles, Jay stayed true to everyday news and accessible humor. That's why he kept a strong hold on middle-aged viewers who wanted something simple and familiar every night. Hosting The Tonight Show wasn't the only thing he did. Jay had full control behind the scenes too. He wrote, supervised filming, and set the entire direction of the program. That level of control made him irreplaceable for years. When he finally stepped down, even though big names like Conan O'Brien and Jimmy Fallon stepped in, many believed the show lost a piece of its structure without him. One production member said, "Jay is not just the host, he is the structure of the show." And outside of TV, Jay performed hundreds of stand-up shows on stages across the country. These appearances weren't for hype, they were pure, independent art. Jay's style was always based on observing society, staying away from sensitive topics, and keeping everything clean. That's why he maintained strong relationships in the industry without falling into drama or long-lasting public debates. While many comedians hit controversy after controversy, Jay kept a steady path. He didn't follow trends, didn't chase short-form content, and didn't switch up his tone just because the industry changed. Producers even called him the last of the old-school pros, someone who did TV through skill, not strategy. In the Last Ride documentary, viewers see Jay organizing his archives, thousands of handwritten notes, scripts, and files from decades of work. He didn't rely on inspiration. He had a full system for everything he created. Every joke, every topic was filed neatly by year and subject. It showed exactly how he lasted so long without losing himself. And to understand why Jay lived and worked this way, you have to go back to the beginning, from nothing to nightfall. Jay Leno was born in New Rochelle in 1950. His family wasn't involved in the arts. His father sold insurance and his mother was a Scottish homemaker. They expected Jay to stay close to home, work a stable job, and live a quiet life. Entertainment wasn't even on the table. Growing up in Andover, Massachusetts, Jay worked hard from a young age. Teachers said he wasn't the star student, but he always took careful notes and never missed a deadline. That discipline followed him through college at Emerson. where he studied communications and first stepped onto small comedy stages for a few dollars a night. There was even a time when he slept in his car for weeks because he couldn't afford rent. People who met him back then remembered him typing jokes in parking lots on his own typewriter, rewriting openings at the last minute to match the crowd. From early on, Jay was known for staying away from partying and late-night excess. While others got swept up in hype, Jay stayed focused, performing small shows and building content month by month. He worked like a disciplined technician, not a celebrity chasing fame. And when the time came for him to step into the spotlight, he didn't leave with noise. He left with silence, finishing what he started and setting a standard instead of a gap.